Hey guys, welcome back to the next part of this live worship mixing session. So we are almost done. We've locked in a lot of our mix already, made some tweaks, and so now we're going to be going over the master bus processing for the actual song. So I'll take you through my whole mastering chain, basically all the plugins that I put on the master bus to get it loud and to make it commercially compatible. So let's jump right in. Okay, so we got our mix done, we got our vocals done. We're using the auto pitch correction. We have our Melodyne recorded in there in case we need it later. Because right now we're going to do the master bus processing. And then after that, we'll need to, bounce it out, do a car check. And then after we could do the car check, we'll see what tweaks we need to make. Or we might even need to make tweaks after we throw some master bus processing on there. And then during that time, if we hear some off notes that the automatic pitch correction didn't do, then we can handle those, and we'll already have our Melodyne in there ready to fix that specific note. So I'm going to move on to the master bus now. And I have my typical channel strip. So I'm actually going to start it in a big section. So first one is this dangerous master EQ. It just does really slight adjustments, and I usually just use it to boost a little bit of the high end if I'm mixing kind of dark, which I normally do. So we'll just boost a few dB on this shelf to see what it sounds like. Then moving on into just a normal Logic compressor, super long attack time, pretty long release, and then just a 1.5 to 1 ratio, and we're only going to take off like half of a dB, so it's just kind of a very slight smoothing. From there, we'll go into the Shadow Hills mastering compressor. Love this thing. So I normally put it to the iron, just like the way that one sounds, and then we're going to do the optical threshold first. So anytime you're doing something on the master bus, you want the adjustments to be super slight, which is why the dangerous EQ only goes up by a few dB. Only taking off half of a dB with the first compressor, maybe another half to 1 with the shadow hills. So everything is super slight, except for what we're about to get into, which is the multiband compression, and then into the limiter, which makes it loud. And that usually does quite a bit of work on at least on my master buses. I know some people don't like things loud. I like things loud so that they match what's already out there. And I know all about the streaming loudness penalties, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm not totally convinced that you have to do a -12 LUFS master for this streaming service and that. I mean, to me, I'll just do my normal -8, -7 ones, and then if they need to turn me down a little bit, go ahead and turn me down, because my clients will still be happy with their loud stuff that they listen back to back with other songs that matches the level. And that's just what I do, and until it doesn't work anymore, and then I'll change my ways. So that, and then into multiband compression. And then you can hear what this does. It really, it takes the harshness out of the highs with this like upper end multiband compression. And then it just smooths out all the frequency things so nothing gets too out of whack. Let me do some A-Bing for you real quick. Okay, so yeah, that makes a pretty big difference. And like I said, this is one of the master bus processors where we do go a little bit crazier than the others. Then finally, we're going to hit it right into the adaptive limiter in Logic. It's always been my go-to limiter. Some people don't like it. I do like it. I like the way it works. And we will measure our loudness with Logic's loudness meter. And turn the adaptive limiter on, and then we'll just gain into it. I'll try to adjust my streaming recording volume here so it doesn't blow your ears out. Okay, so now that we have our processing on there, we're hearing everything. And then now is whenever we can start. Number one, let's make our initial tweaks now from what we're hearing just by adding the master processing. And just what I was hearing right then is the kick was really cutting through and clicky. So let's see what we can do with that first. Okay, so we just made that adjustment to this one big part. I'm gonna go make sure it didn't affect just the beginning whenever everything was more down and you can really hear the drums come through. So let's see what this sounds like. Okay, I think the kick itself, we got the top kick sorted out, but I think the sub kick needs to be boosted a little bit, so let's try to get that level right. Okay, so I also think maybe the overheads are a little too loud. The cymbals are just a little bit, so like maybe a half of a dB or a dB, really not much. And I'm actually going to go back to the big part for this.
So come on, come on. You can have it all.
Okay. So that's sounding good. I'm going to do a quick A/B with my handy dandy a beer. And then after that, I'm going to go do the car check. And then we will come back and do some mix tweaks based on the car check. And then we'll be done. So I will see you guys next time.